Welcome to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. If you like what you heard today, please like, share, and subscribe for more content about people-centered HR. Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. Today we're going to take a little bit different of a route on human resources and the news, and we're going to talk about uh, Mayor Adams of New York, who is wanting photos of job applicants. Now, I have a unique perspective on this. I don't particularly have a political perspective here. I want to talk from an HR focus about having applicants' photos, right? So this comes from Politico, which is great, and it says that the New York mayor has instructed city agencies to present him with the headshots of potential hires as City Hall reviews candidates for jobs ranging from assistant commissioner to departmental press secretary. So, and the joke is that Eric Adams is building his own Facebook. Obviously he's not doing that, but I want to start off by saying that's what org charts are for. Any HR person knows that we have org charts with pictures, and that's what we do. And he later makes the argument that these these pictures are a result of him wanting to know the staffers, but it's odd. We'll talk about it. Let's get into it. He says that it will help the mayor recognize his employees in a workforce of 330,000. But some city officials are saying it's a diversity push. And that's what we'll get into. That's most likely it. Diversity pushes can be good, provided you're not breaking any laws. And unfortunately, Adam's team is failing to fill vacancies. And I think that's the core. It's something I predicted at the beginning. So New York City has a requirement that you're to be vaccinated in order to work. I believe in the city at all, but certainly for the government. So they've effectively, probably in the city of New York, it's probably not a huge reduction in employees, right? That probably reduces them down by 10% or 8%, but it's still a lot harder to fill vacancies with this unnecessary weight and burden put on you. So they Politico interviewed nine current and past officials, and they were concerned that it would be more about race and ethnicity rather than merit. And that's really the critical thing. So multiple times, you know, the federal agencies have dictated that requiring pictures could lead to adverse impact with respect to ethnicities and could lead to a more, for lack of a better term, discriminatory or racist hiring policies. That's why it's not done in America. Most people don't know this if you haven't traveled or if you haven't worked internationally, but the expectation in Europe and in many countries is to throughout the world is to include your picture on your resume. In the United States, it's not expected. It's not looked well upon, and we partially do it. One of the reasons that we look down on it is because it can lead to discriminatory hiring practices. And as a result, we discourage it. We don't want people including their picture, and this is why. Um, it, it says that the mayor wants to quote begin to recognize folks' faces. Now we will, sort of not talk about the fact that folks is somewhat of a dog whistle among racist elements in our society. But beyond that, it talks about using the photos as a way to recognize them. That's what org charts are for. This email was sent by a Mayor Adams staffer on April 19th. You know, I've spent a lot of time making org charts for upper management who want to know people's faces, but we do it after someone's on board, not before. Um, it goes on and says that many officials think that it's a way to make sure that you're diversifying candidates. Although City Hall is pretty diverse in New York anyway. But one high-ranking official says that there's no other way to interpret it. What's key, and I do like it. One of the mayor's office of appointments said that the mayor wanted agencies to hire people who reflect the constituencies we serve, which is important. That's why diversity exists. You want to make sure that you're focused on your customer, that you're able to address those customers, and make sure that you're marketing appropriately. They don't have these concerns really in a government position, but still. One recently departed City Hall employee said that it was that they were going to start counting complexions now, which frankly they've always done, right? There's no real difference between it and anything else. They've been counting complexions since affirmative action began, but it will lead them to counting more complexions if that's what they want. And they talk about here how 8% of municipal jobs are unfilled. I would tend to believe that it's more about the vaccine mandate than it is anything else, but this has slowed down the process. Further, the spokesperson for Mayor Adams stressed that it's about respect for our colleagues and knowing who they are when we arrive at an event, because you need to know that before they even start working for you. To be clear, these are applicants. These are not current employees. These are people who currently work for the administration that are going to be working at those events, right? So you don't need to know them if they're not working for you. So yeah, that's really it's really odd. And so then there's a hiring slide template, which is the evidence, the smoking gun, so to speak, that they're shooting for this discriminatory practice to take place, or potentially discriminatory, right? It is not necessarily discriminatory. It isn't necessarily violating any laws. It's violating HR best practices, it's violating common sense, but it's not breaking any laws. Just a bad idea. And so um, the they want to give these headshots to the mayor, and talks about what they are going to discuss. Um, and the high-ranking agency official talks about how the whole hiring process as City Hall set up is difficult enough, and the photo requirement just takes it from hard to bizarre and uncomfortable. And then this New York City-based employment attorney, which I don't, I you know, if I were practicing employment in New York City, which I never will do, it's just really odd. It says that there's no law prohibiting hiring decision based upon race and ethnicity if it furthers the goal of diversifying the workforce. I I really question that. I don't know that that's consistent, and I know that there's court cases to say the opposite. But it's really odd. Here it says her one note of caution: job candidates should not be required to present photographs, though there is nothing legally barring officials from searching for headshots online. Yeah, I think she's splitting hairs here. But the biggest point here is that the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission addresses the matter. And it says they shouldn't ask for it. If you need it for identification purposes, a photograph may be obtained after an offer of employment is made and accepted. And that's exactly right. This and the, to be clear here, if you're not familiar, which it's pretty eponymous, it's pretty based on its name, but U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is the one who makes decisions with respect to discrimination in the workplace. Then I think Adams takes a bizarre turn. He says that it's a desire to recognize city workers' faces, and he goes on and talks about how disrespectful it is to not know their name, which is true. I don't disagree, but that's what org charts are for. It's not for pre-hire applications. And then finally, he talks about how he that people are mad that he enjoys being a mayor. No, it's because you're discriminating and potentially a racist. And I think that would make people very angry. I'm absolutely stunned that this sort of behavior is even accepted or not. You know, uh, Normally this would, require pitchforks because people would be very upset at this racist behavior on the part of a publicly elected official. But, unfortunately, we're not seeing that. Well, this has been all from Human Resources for the People. If you like what I've said today, if you're interested in hearing more, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It really helps. I'm a new channel. I'm trying to put out the best content for you, and I truly love what I do. So thanks, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.